Are you allowing circumstances to control your joy, or have you made the decision to command your own happiness, despite the challenges, despite the delay in results, and despite the appearance of lack? Let me ask you a question that separates the successful from the defeated. Can you remain happy even when success seems miles away? This question, though simple in its asking, strikes at the core of self-mastery. For the man or woman who trains themselves to find peace and happiness in the process is the one who becomes unstoppable. Understand this truth now. Happiness is not the reward of achievement, it is the condition required to reach it. You do not become happy once you succeed. You succeed because you trained your mind to be happy while you work. The man who waits for riches before claiming joy will chase both for a lifetime and hold neither. The man who builds joy into the foundations of his daily labor attracts wealth as a natural consequence. The starting point of all achievement is desire, but the fuel that keeps desire alive is emotional harmony. If you despise your work, if you frown while sowing the seeds, if you carry bitterness or impatience in your heart, you poison the very soil meant to grow your riches. The world will not reward a man who despises the climb. Every successful individual I've ever studied mastered one sacred truth. They did not wait to feel good. They trained themselves to think good, to act good, and to keep their mind uplifted no matter what the outside conditions whispered to them. Your mood is not a reaction to the world, it is your message to the world. When you radiate harmony, focus, discipline, and positivity, you call forth the invisible forces of abundance. But when your days are soaked in complaint, in worry, in fear, the universe returns to you only more of that same vibration. Happiness is your responsibility, not your reward. Do not misunderstand me. I do not speak of shallow cheerfulness, nor of empty platitudes repeated in the mirror. I speak of deep-rooted emotional maturity, the kind that comes from an individual who has taken full possession of their mind. To train yourself to be happy while you work requires discipline. It demands that you command your thoughts, reject discouragement, and form the habit of gratitude for the opportunity to build your vision. The average man avoids pain and craves pleasure. But the man of success learns to find pleasure in the process. He conditions his nervous system to love the grind, to appreciate the silence before results, and to gain joy not from trophies but from self-development. This, my friend, is real power, the ability to manufacture your own emotion and sustain it through action. Until you develop this strength, success will remain a distant dream. With it, success will become a predictable outcome. Begin now by choosing your state of mind before the day begins. Decide each morning that no matter what interruptions arise, no matter what setbacks occur, you will remain joyful. Why? Because joy strengthens you. Joy sharpens your mind. Joy attracts people. Joy pulls you forward. It is not optional, it is strategic. Most people are waiting for life to hand them reasons to be happy. But you are no longer most people. You are a builder of a higher order. You understand that internal climate shapes external conditions. Your business, your income, your health, your relationships, they are all influenced by your emotional tone. Misery may give you moments of reflection, but it will never give you momentum. Happiness gives you fire. If you cannot enjoy the work, you will not outlast those who do. That is a fact. And in the long game of life, endurance decides destiny. Now let us come to the source of most unhappiness, comparison. The fatal habit of looking sideways at others destroys the joy of forward motion. You will never remain focused while envying another's position. You must train yourself to measure only one thing, your own progress. If you did better today than yesterday, you are winning. If your thoughts are clearer, your actions more precise, your habits more disciplined, your speech more purposeful, you are becoming who success is searching for. There is no greater feeling than knowing you are improving, even if no one sees it yet. And that feeling, that quiet confidence, is what breeds happiness. It is the satisfaction that comes from direction, not destination. You must eliminate the illusion that you are behind. You are only behind if you have stopped growing. But if your roots are deepening, even when the tree has not yet borne fruit, you are not behind. You are becoming. The problem with most people is that they tie their emotions to visible evidence. They say, I will be happy when my income grows. I will smile when I'm promoted. I will relax when others respect me. But what they fail to understand is that those external rewards are results of internal consistency. The law of cause and effect does not bow to your frustration. It answers only to your vibration. If your mind is always seeking some other moment to be joyful, then this moment will slip away, wasted, and so will the next. The man who wishes to be successful must find a way to enjoy repetition. The daily tasks, the morning rituals, the writing, the selling, the learning, these are not chores. These are sacred acts of future creation. Your attitude towards these acts either invites wealth or repels it. Choose wisely. Smile in the work, and the work will reward you. And now let us consider another important dimension, solitude. Your happiness cannot depend on the presence or praise of others. That is not strength. That is slavery. The man who needs applause to feel worthy will collapse when silence falls. The woman who needs companionship to feel whole will feel lost in her own company. You must become someone who enjoys their own presence, who finds joy in learning, building, refining, and creating, even when no one is watching. That is self-ownership. That is how giants are born. Learn to sit alone with your thoughts and discipline them into harmony. Learn to walk your path with your head held high, even if no crowd follows. For it is in these lonely moments that character is forged. The one who conquers solitude gains power that no circumstance can destroy. And within that solitude, happiness is no longer fleeting, it becomes permanent. Discipline your tongue to speak only progress. Most people ruin their happiness not because of what they experience, but because of what they say about what they experience. Complaining is the language of the weak. You must train your words to reflect your vision, not your conditions. Say only what you intend to manifest. Speak only of what you are building. Avoid gossip, eliminate excuses, silence blame, and reject the victim's vocabulary. Words shape thoughts, and thoughts shape outcome. If you desire wealth and success, let your words honor that desire. Let them carry the vibration of creation. Let your speech confirm your belief in your path. A man who talks of failure while working will see only more failure. But a man who declares faith in his process while he works will soon walk into success. That is the power of focused, joyful speech. That is the strategy of mastery. You must also understand this. Happiness is not passive. It must be pursued, built, and protected. Do not allow outside events to determine your mood. This is a violation of your own power. You are not a puppet. Cut the strings of reactivity. Begin each day with intention. Say to yourself, I will think the thoughts that serve me. I will do the work that moves me forward. I will feel the emotions that build me up, and then act upon those declarations. Nothing builds joy like keeping promises to yourself. Each time you follow through on your intention, your self-respect rises, and with it, your happiness grows. It is not about perfection, it is about progress. Do not beat yourself up for occasional lapses, but do not excuse long-term neglect. Happiness is the outcome of aligned living. Align your thoughts, your habits, your speech, and your spirit, and you will find yourself unshakable. Let us pause here, not to stop, but to reflect. You have begun the process of mastering your emotions. You are learning to smile in the shadows, to act in the silence, and to believe in what has not yet arrived. This is the mindset that builds empires. It is the state of mind that magnetizes riches. Do not underestimate it. While the world complains, you are cultivating peace. While others wait for success to bring them joy, you are generating joy to bring in success. You have taken the first and most powerful step, deciding to train yourself for happiness. From here, everything becomes possible. Stay on the path. Keep showing up. Keep building the emotional state that success is drawn to. The future is responding to your present. Build it with joy. Build it with strength. Build it with patience. Understand this. Life is not in the grand events, but in the daily hours. And those hours must be governed by your mind, not your mood. The man who waits to feel good before acting will be idle half his life. The woman who must be inspired to stay disciplined will never know mastery. You must become the kind of person who trains emotion to follow command. Do not wait for happiness. Initiate it. Do not chase joy. Generate it. The way to be happy while working for success is to detach your happiness from results and attach it to growth. When you know that each moment spent in focused work is creating a better version of you, that knowledge alone becomes the source of your fulfillment. You are not just moving through life, you are shaping it. Every thought directed, every action repeated, every attitude refined is evidence that you are becoming more than you were. Do not underestimate how rare this mindset is. The world teaches dependence on outcome. Society measures worth by possessions and applause. But you must measure your worth by alignment. Are your thoughts, your words, your efforts, and your beliefs in harmony? Then you are rich, no matter what your bank account reads today. The man who lives in inner alignment walks with the confidence of a king long before his crown appears. He feels joy, not because all things are easy, but because he knows who he is becoming. And that joy, pure and self-generated, feeds his energy, sharpens his mind, and makes his vision magnetic. This is what most miss. They attempt to force outcomes while neglecting the inner state that creates them. You, on the other hand, will live from the inside out. You will build from the root, not chase the fruit. And in doing so, you will gain both happiness and success in the order they were meant to be received. Now let us examine the power of focus in this pursuit. The scattered mind is the defeated mind. You cannot be happy if your attention is split 1,000 ways. The man who multitasks his dreams rarely fulfills any of them. Train your focus. Learn to do one thing with your whole being. The happiest people are not those who dabble, they are those who devote. Find your path and walk it with intensity. When you are fully immersed in your work, whether it is building, learning, writing, selling, or creating, your mind forgets doubt, and in that forgetfulness, happiness arises. It is not found in the wandering mind. It is found in the disciplined mind. Attention is the gateway to joy. So train it, protect it, refine it. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. Let each moment have your full presence, and you will find happiness woven into your day. Another critical point. Your environment must support your emotional training. Do not spend your time around those who drain your energy, mock your dreams, or wallow in complaint. You are not better than anyone, but you are responsible for your energy. And energy is contagious. You cannot train yourself to be happy while surrounded by chronic negativity. Choose your influences with care. Read what uplifts you. Listen to voices that challenge and expand you. Speak only with those who honor growth. And if you must walk alone for a time, do it proudly. Solitude in peace is better than companionship in poison. The path to success is not paved with popularity. It is paved with principle. Build your circle with intention. Your emotional state depends on it. Every voice you allow near your mind becomes a part of your internal dialogue. Make sure those voices echo belief, not fear. And what of rest? Yes, rest is part of the plan. But rest is not escape. It is preparation. The person who rests with guilt never recovers. The person who rests with intention restores their power. So schedule your rest, guard it, but never confuse it with laziness. Happiness grows in the balance of effort and renewal. Work with intensity. Then step back and breathe. Reflect. Journal. Walk. Think. Let your subconscious process all you are building. In those quiet hours, when nothing seems to be happening, the mind is reorganizing. The spirit is aligning. The heart is refueling. And then, when you return to work, you are stronger, clearer, faster. Do not glorify burnout. The fire must be stoked, not consumed. Build a rhythm. Discipline your schedule so that your body, mind, and soul stay in harmony. That is how you maintain long-term happiness on the road to success. Let me now speak plainly. Most people lose before they begin because they dread the journey. They look at the mountain and feel tired. They hear the word discipline and feel restricted. But you are wiser than that. You know that discipline is not restriction, it is freedom. And the climb is not suffering, it is the source of strength. What weakens a man is not effort, it is resistance to effort. Once you accept the climb, once you embrace the challenge, the suffering dissolves. You stop arguing with reality and begin aligning with it. That alignment brings peace. And peace, when combined with purpose, becomes power. So enjoy the climb. Smile at the struggle. Celebrate the growth. Each day you stay the course, you are separating yourself from the masses. You are proving to yourself that you are worthy of the life you are building. That proof builds joy. Earn it daily. Do not forget to celebrate. Not the big wins only, but the small ones. Finished your morning routine, celebrate. Overcame a moment of doubt, celebrate. Spoke with clarity and confidence, celebrate. These are not meaningless moments. They are bricks in your foundation. And when you acknowledge them, you reinforce the habits that built them. Happiness is reinforced through recognition. Do not wait for someone else to clap for you. Be your own applause. Be your own witness. Learn to see your progress. Keep a journal of wins. Speak them aloud. Meditate on them. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. The more you focus on what is working, the more of it you will create. And from this mindset of self-recognition comes an emotional state that fuels even greater performance. You are building an internal engine. Feed it well. Now, hear me on this next point. Remove the phrase, "I'll be happy when," from your vocabulary. That phrase is a thief. It steals your present power. I'll be happy when I have more money, when I have a partner, when I hit that milestone. No, you will be happy because you are growing, because you are aligned, because you are choosing joy right now. That is the mindset of a leader. That is the frame of the elite. Happiness is not postponed, it is practiced. Right here, right now, in the silence, in the hustle, in the in-between. Practice happiness. Speak it, feel it, act it. You will discover that the man who brings joy to his work brings wealth to his life. And the woman who commands her mood commands her destiny. This is not fiction, it is law. The law of vibration is real, and you are its master. Let us talk about the evening. Most people waste it. They use it to complain, to escape, to consume distractions. But the wise man uses it to reinforce. Before bed, review your victories. Replay your progress. Speak gratitude aloud. Plan tomorrow with clarity. These final moments of the day set the tone for your subconscious mind to work overnight. Do not end your day with fear. Do not feed your mind with chaos. End your day with order, with thanks, with purpose. This is how you anchor happiness into your system. You are not just working for success during the day, you are building it 24 hours a day through intention, clarity, and emotional discipline. The person who ends their day right begins their next day ahead of the world. That advantage, compounded, creates a lifetime of achievement and joy. Let this be your creed. I do not depend on outcomes. I create outcomes. I do not wait for joy. I bring joy. I do not chase approval. I approve of myself. Speak these words. Live them. Etch them into your character. When your mind wanders, return to them. When discouragement visits, repeat them. You are not a servant of emotion. You are the master of it. That is what separates you from the crowd. That is what earns you the results others merely wish for. And in time, those results will come. They always do. They arrive not when you beg for them, but when you become worthy of them. And worthiness is emotional mastery. It is persistence without complaint. It is progress without self-pity. It is joy without external justification. That, my friend, is the new standard. That is your foundation. Now let us go deeper into the relationship between your thought patterns and the emotional climate of your life. For it is not merely what happens to you that determines your happiness. It is how you think about what happens to you. The lens through which you interpret the world is what shapes your emotional experience. Train that lens. Direct your mind to see opportunity in difficulty, progress in pressure, and growth in every delay. This is no shallow affirmation. This is a philosophical discipline, a mental muscle. The man who trains his thinking will never again be a prisoner of circumstances. He will rise, not because conditions are perfect, but because his perception creates power. You must see yourself as the cause, not the effect. You are not floating downstream. You are shaping the current. This identity shift is the foundation of sustainable happiness because it returns control to your own hands. One must recognize that the mind is a garden. Neglect it and weeds grow. Tend to it daily and beauty bloom. You cannot allow your mental soil to be planted with seeds of fear, doubt, envy, or resentment and expect joy to blossom. Your thoughts are not passive. They are causal. Each one influences your biochemistry, your decisions, your energy, and your results. Therefore, each thought must be examined. Ask yourself constantly, does this thought serve my higher self? Does it align with my purpose? If the answer is no, reject it. Replace it. You must be the watchman of your own mind, guarding the gates against anything that does not belong. Over time, this becomes automatic. You will no longer entertain emotional parasites. You will think only that which elevates. And from that elevation, happiness emerges as a natural byproduct, not forced, not faked, but earned. Let me speak now on the subject of comparison. Nothing will drain your happiness faster than measuring your progress against the timeline or achievements of others. You must understand, no two journeys are identical. The soil from which you grew, the battles you fought, the obstacles you overcame, they are unique to you. Therefore, your pace, your rhythm, your milestones must also be your own. Do not allow the illusion of someone else's highlight reel to poison the deep satisfaction available in your own lane. Focus on your lane. Stay loyal to your calling. Use others not as measuring sticks, but as evidence of what is possible. Let their success inspire, not intimidate. And when envy whispers, respond with gratitude for what is yours and discipline to build what is not yet. This shift from comparison to construction is the mental pivot that preserves both happiness and momentum. In every stage of your journey, remember, joy is not passive. It is not a mood that visits by accident. It is a practice. And like all practices, it demands effort, repetition, and refinement. Begin each day with intention. Set your emotional tone on purpose. Ask yourself, how do I choose to feel today, regardless of circumstance? Speak it aloud. Breathe it in. Then act in harmony with that decision. Joy is not found in the avoidance of pain, but in the presence of purpose. It is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of conviction. When you act in alignment with your values, when you move daily in service of your vision, happiness walks beside you, not as a fleeting guest, but as a faithful companion. This is the secret most miss. They wait for the world to give them a reason to feel good. You, instead, create the reason. Let us now turn to the nature of setbacks, because no journey is without them. And your ability to maintain joy in the face of failure is the mark of maturity. Most people collapse under disappointment. They attach their identity to results. When something fails, they do not just say, "This failed." They say, "I am a failure." You must not fall into this trap. Your failures are not final. They are feedback. They are correction. They are data. Detach your worth from any single result. You are not your mistakes. You are the one who learns from them. And that learning is cause for celebration. Train yourself to meet failure with curiosity. Ask, what is this teaching me? Where can I grow? This mindset transforms suffering into schooling. And from that schooling, joy is born, not in the event, but in the evolution. You are always becoming. Celebrate that. Now let us address the trap of urgency. In your pursuit of success, you may feel pressure to arrive quickly. Society praises speed, but lasting success is never built in haste. It is built in clarity, consistency, and calm. The man who rushes compromises quality. He burns out. He overlooks details. And most dangerously, he misses the joy of the journey. Train yourself to love the process, to find satisfaction in each brick laid, not just the completed castle. When you are present with your work, even the smallest task becomes meaningful. You stir greatness into your life not only through big wins, but through the small, deliberate acts done with love. Do not sacrifice joy on the altar of urgency. The happy man is not always the fastest, but he is always present. And presence multiplies progress in ways speed never could. You must also train your language. The words you speak shape the reality you live. Speak with strength. Speak with vision. Speak with kindness. When you describe your life, your goals, your setbacks, do so with power. Replace I have to with I get to. Replace I hope with I intend. Replace I can't with I'm learning to. This shift in language rewires your nervous system. It transforms victimhood into ownership. And ownership is the birthplace of joy. You are not at the mercy of life. You are the architect of it. And your words are your blueprint. Be precise. Be positive. Be intentional. Let every sentence reinforce who you are becoming. And soon your inner world will become so rich with clarity and conviction that no external circumstance can shake it. That is the level of mastery you are training for. There is one more silent killer of joy that we must confront: guilt. Many ambitious people carry guilt for resting, for being happy, for taking care of themselves. They believe that suffering is the only path to success. This is a lie. Self-neglect is not a virtue, it is sabotage. You must give yourself permission to thrive, to feel good, to rest, to celebrate. Happiness is not a distraction, it is a strategy. A joyful state of mind makes you sharper, more creative, more magnetic. It is not indulgence, it is advantage. So release the guilt. Own your joy. Claim it as a part of your discipline. Say, I train my mind to be happy not as a reward, but as a requirement for the level of life I am building. This is how the elite think. This is how you must think. Not someday, today. Let us revisit your relationship with time. Many people say, I don't have time for happiness. But this is nonsense. Happiness is not a luxury. It is a choice embedded in every moment. While washing dishes, you can think thoughts of gratitude. While walking, you can breathe deeply with awareness. While waiting, you can visualize your vision. Joy is not something you schedule later. It is something you practice now, inside the fabric of daily life. If you do not train yourself to be happy on the way up, you will not know how to be happy once you arrive. Why? Because the arrival is brief, but the journey is long. If the journey is miserable, the destination cannot redeem it. Therefore, you must bring joy with you. Carry it in your thoughts, in your pace, in your posture, in your routines. This is the discipline that separates winners from wanderers. You must also understand the difference between pleasure and joy. Pleasure is short-lived, often passive, often reactive. Joy is sustained, often deliberate, often earned. The man who chases pleasure becomes addicted to escape. The man who builds joy becomes addicted to excellence. You must train your desires to match your destiny. Ask yourself, does this action align with the man or woman I am becoming? If yes, proceed. If not, pause. The discipline of joy requires delayed gratification, but that delay builds power, and that power fuels achievement. You do not need constant entertainment. You need deep engagement. You do not need distraction. You need direction. And direction combined with discipline becomes the foundation of joy that does not fade. It becomes who you are, not what you chase. Now let us consider your relationship with challenges. Life will not always be smooth, but remember this: pain is part of the process, but suffering is optional. You suffer only when you resist the lesson. Accept the lesson. Study the challenge. Ask what it is calling out of you. Is it asking for more patience? More creativity? More discipline? Then rise to it. Meet it with joy, not because it is easy, but because you know it is elevating you. Every trial contains treasure. Every obstacle is a mirror revealing what must be refined. And in that refining you grow, and in that growth joy returns. This is how the wise respond to adversity. Not with panic, not with bitterness, but with the quiet power of purpose. You are not the storm. You are the mountain. Let this section end with a commitment to never again be a slave to conditions, to never again postpone happiness, to never again wait for the world to give you permission to feel good. You are now the source, the generator, the master. And with that mastery comes not only success, but fulfillment. True, deep, lasting fulfillment. Not from what you have, but from who you have become. Let this be your creed going forward. I build joy, I protect joy, I am joy, even in the climb. That is your edge. That is your power. Now we arrive at the highest level of mastery, when your happiness becomes unshakable. It no longer fluctuates with temporary outcomes. It no longer waits for someone's validation. It is not up for negotiation. It becomes a fixed trait, not a fleeting mood. How does one arrive at this state? By training the emotional reflexes. Every time you're disappointed and you choose gratitude, you are reconditioning your emotional response. Every time you are criticized and you choose clarity over defensiveness, you are reclaiming power. Each repetition strengthens the muscle. Eventually, the world can no longer knock you off center because your center is built by design. Happiness becomes your home, not your vacation spot. You don't chase peace, you generate it. And that generator is always inside you. You just forgot how to turn it on. This discipline will remind you, restore you, and redirect your life toward joy without conditions. Understand this clearly. Success does not guarantee happiness, but happiness greatly increases the likelihood of success. The man who is joyful in the work is consistent in the work, and consistency is the foundation upon which greatness is built. Let the masses chase peak moments. You must pursue peak mentality. That means showing up even when the results are invisible. That means keeping your promises to yourself even when no one is watching. That means feeding your vision more than you feed your feelings. Because feelings change, but vision sustains. Discipline yourself to smile through struggle, to take pride in progress, not just praise. When you love the game, you play it longer and better. And longevity in the arena of ambition is the ultimate advantage. Those who outlast outwin, and those who are joyful outlast. The foundation of sustained happiness while building your dream rests upon purpose. Purpose is the deepest form of motivation. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you no longer need external motivation. You become self-fueled. Purpose gives meaning to monotony. It transforms repetition into refinement. It turns discipline into devotion. So I urge you, if you have not yet clarified your purpose, do not waste another hour drifting. Sit down with your thoughts and ask, why must I succeed? What will my success mean to the world? Who will it impact? Do not stop until your answers burn in your chest. That fire, that is what will keep you going when results don't show. That fire, that is what transforms labor into legacy. Purpose is the soil from which your joy and strength will grow. Without it, all effort is brittle. With it, all struggle becomes sacred. Let us not forget the spiritual dimension of happiness. You are not just a body or a mind. You are also a soul. And when your actions are in harmony with your conscience, peace arises. But when you compromise your principles, no amount of success can satisfy. You must not just do successful things. You must become a successful soul. Integrity is joy. Living in alignment is joy. Saying yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no, that is freedom. There is a joy that comes not from applause but from honesty with oneself. That is the kind of joy that allows you to sleep deeply, work fiercely, and love openly. It is not given by the world, so the world cannot take it. And if you are ever lost, return to this question. Is this action true to the best version of me? Let that guide your next step. You must also surround yourself with people who protect your peace, not poison it. Your circle is your environment, and your environment influences your emotional default. Spend time around those who uplift, who encourage, who challenge you with love. Cut ties with those who drain, who belittle, who infect your mind with doubt and fear. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. If you are serious about building success with joy, then every voice in your life must reinforce your direction, not distort it. You become the emotional average of those you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. One positive influence can shift your mindset. One toxic voice can sabotage your entire rhythm. Protect your energy like it is your most valuable currency, because it is. And let your environment reflect the joy, discipline, and purpose you are cultivating within. Let us now address a truth too often ignored. You will not always feel like it. There will be days when fatigue whispers, when doubt knocks, when progress hides. On those days, happiness is not handed to you. It must be constructed. And you construct it through action. Action is the antidote to stagnation. When you move your body, when you engage your mind, when you push forward even a little, the fog lifts. You must never wait for a mood to begin. You must begin, and the mood will follow. This is one of the greatest secrets of all high performers. They act their way into feeling. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't negotiate with laziness. They move, they do the work. And happiness reaches them on the other side of motion. Let that be your rule. Mood follows movement, always. Do not underestimate the power of small joys. A deep breath, a clean desk, a meaningful conversation, a handwritten plan. These are not luxuries. They are levers. They shift your state. They ground you. They remind you that even in the chaos of building something big, there is calm available in the little things. Do not rush past them. The most powerful men and women I have known were not just relentless in work, they were awake in life. Awake to beauty. Awake to simplicity. Awake to gratitude. Train yourself to notice, to feel, to absorb the goodness that already exists. Because the man who is blind to beauty will find no pleasure even in victory. But the man who sees clearly can feel joy, even while he climbs. That vision, that emotional awareness is a discipline. Practice it. Many wait for success before allowing themselves to feel worthy. This is backwards. Worthiness must precede achievement. You do not earn the right to feel valuable, you claim it. Right now, in this moment, you are not a work in progress, you are a work of intention. You are being refined, not repaired, and that refinement is honorable. You must walk with the posture of a man becoming. That posture attracts opportunity. That posture commands respect. That posture stabilizes happiness. Stop tying your self-worth to outcome. Tie it instead to effort, to integrity, to growth, and from that tie, joy flows. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are aligned. And alignment is the only true path to peace. Let me speak now of discipline. For without it, no philosophy survives. You can know all the right principles and still live in misery if you do not apply them. Discipline is joy in motion. It is the daily expression of belief. When you choose the habit over the excuse, the plan over the impulse, the goal over the craving, that is when happiness deepens. Because you begin to trust yourself, and self-trust is a rare and priceless gift. It allows you to walk into uncertainty with calm. It allows you to face hardship with courage. It allows you to lead, not from fear, but from conviction. Train your discipline not as punishment, but as self-respect. Say to yourself, I follow through because I honor my own word. That kind of discipline builds a life that feels good to live, not just good to show. As you continue this journey, understand this. Happiness and success are not competing forces. They are companions. The man who separates them will forever be divided. He will postpone joy for some future victory, only to find that when victory comes, joy is unfamiliar. You must build them together, layer by layer, habit by habit, thought by thought. Build success not from struggle alone, but from joy-fueled perseverance. Let your smile be your sword. Let your peace be your weapon. Let your happiness be your protest against the noise of the world. The calm in your eyes, the steadiness in your breath, that is your secret edge. The one thing they cannot replicate, the one thing that cannot be stolen, that is what makes you unstoppable. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too tired. You are exactly where your training begins. And from this moment forward, everything changes. You will no longer depend on conditions. You will no longer wait for applause. You will no longer outsource your joy. You are reclaiming your mind. You are rebuilding your habits. You are rewiring your life. One choice at a time. One thought at a time. One moment at a time. And with each repetition, you become the version of you that success has been looking for. Not desperate, not depleted, but grounded, whole, joyful. Let this be the final truth. The man who is happy in his pursuit is already successful because he has mastered the hardest battle of all, the war within. He does not need to prove. He does not need to rush. He does not need to pretend. He simply is steady, purposeful, powerful. Let that be you. From this day forward, train not only your skills, your strategies, or your routines, but your joy. Make happiness your discipline. Make peace your practice. Make gratitude your strength. And success, it will follow like a shadow. For no dream can resist a man who moves with joy in his eyes and discipline in his heart.